Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about my Week 2 tight end rankings for fantasy football in 2020. If you guys would like to check out running backs, wide receivers, as well as quarterbacks, those are all on my channel that you can check out after this video. And while you're down there, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. It's free, and I put out content every single day to make sure that you guys can win your 2020 Fantasy Football League. So before I get into the Week 2 tight end rankings, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com offers a new game titled the Matchup Shop. It is the easiest way to win money in the fantasy football, daily fantasy sports industry. It is so easy to understand. Pretty much all it is betting player versus player on each of these matchup posted. There's a million matchups here that you can go ahead and look at. There's Thursday, there's Sunday, and there is Monday, and the lines do move. So understanding how the price works. So you're getting -2.5 on Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb, whatever point total he gets in fantasy football based upon the rules on the website, -2.5 points. Jarvis Landry on the other side of it gets +2.5 points. It is very simple to figure out. If you play fantasy football, you should be able to easily dominate on this website, so make sure you guys check it out. OverlayDFS.com, and I make videos every week showing you guys which players to pick so you guys can win that big moolah, so make sure you guys check it out. OverlayDFS.com. And we are back. Please make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. So let's get right into it. Week 2 tight end rankings for fantasy football in 2020. We began with tight end numero uno, Travis Kelce, going up against the LA Superchargers in LA. Now, before I actually go into this, just so you guys know, Jack Doyle is going to miss Sunday's game against whoever the fuck the Indianapolis Colts are playing against, because I forgot, the Minnesota Vikings. And then we are going to see George Kittle miss up against the New York Football Jets, which probably would have been, if healthy, the best tight end on the week. But at number 1, we have Travis Kelce, like I said, going up against the LA Chargers. He is my number 1 tight end pretty much every single week, even in a tougher matchup up against the LA Chargers. I believe that Travis Kelce will be able to get it going. I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be able to railroad the LA Chargers, so I believe Travis Kelce will be very involved in this game. No real thought about it. The guy was drafted highly in fantasy drafts for a reason, because he is good. So I'm going to go ahead and put him as my tight end number 1. At number 2, we have Mark Andrews going up against the Houston Texans in Houston. Now, Mark Andrews last week destroyed the Cleveland Browns. He made a one-handed catch looking like Odell Beckham Jr., something that even Odell hasn't done in a while, and they beat Odell with his own move, so it was pretty awesome. Mark Andrews played very well in that game. There's a reason why he is drafted so high in fantasy again as well, because this guy is simply built fucking different. This guy is a beast in the red zone, driving up the field. Lamar Jackson looks for one man, and it's that big motherfucker wearing number 89 on the Baltimore Ravens. So I like Mark Andrews again this week up against a not-so-hot Houston Texans defense that Travis Kelce played pretty well against in week number 1. At number 3, we have Zach Ertz going up against the LA Rams. Now, Zach Ertz ended up not having the hottest game week number 1 up against the Washington football team. Now, he did end up scoring a touchdown to save the grace of the game, but I believe he plays much better up against the LA Rams, considering it just seems like the Eagles just don't have any healthy wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson shits the bed. Nelson Aguilar is gone at a different team. I believe I think he scored a touchdown last week in Las Vegas. It was beautiful because you can catch everything in Vegas. So Zach Ertz is kind of worrisome about the wide receivers around him, which is good for him because he is going to be very involved in this game. I think that both tight ends, though, him and Goddard, will be very good in fantasy football on the week up against the LA Rams. At number 4, we have Ty Higbee in the exact same game going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, he's on the other side of the game. This is a premier matchup. We saw Logan Thomas score a touchdown up against them last week for the Washington football team. Now we have a legitimate tight end in Tyler Higbee, who played pretty well up against the Dallas Cowboys. I expect him to play much better this week, though, up against the Eagles with Jared Goff under center. Obviously, Tyler Higbee looks to be a top 5 start up against a not-so-beautiful Philadelphia Eagles defense. At number 5, we have Darren the Walrus Waller going up against the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. Now, Darren Waller did not start the season on fire up against the New Orleans Saints, but I do expect a bounce-back week coming in week number 2. I just think Darren Waller will have a much better matchup up against the New Orleans Saints defense. Hopefully he is much more involved than he was in week number 1, but you expect that when a guy of Darren Waller's caliber kind of plays bad, that they have a bounce back the next week. At number 6, we have Jared Cook, same tight end in the Monday night game, or same game Monday night up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Jared Cook, honestly, is going to be a beast in this game strictly for one reason. That's because Michael Thomas just is not playing in this game. He should miss like 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. So in those games, Jared Cook is going to look to be very involved in that offense. We saw him play quite well week 1. He seems like he's just going to be a touchdown monster every single week while Michael Thomas is going to be gone, considering Drew Brees loves to look for him in the end zone. If it's not going to Kamara, it's likely going the way of Mr. Jared Cook. So I like him here at number 6 up against the Raiders. At number 7, we have Hunter Henry going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Hunter Henry, while healthy, typically always a top 10 tight end on the week. Now, the worry is obviously that Tyrod Taylor just doesn't understand how to throw the ball past 10 yards down the field. Tyrod Taylor might be the worst bad quarterback of all time because he's worst at being bad, because he doesn't put the team in shitty situations, because he simply just doesn't pull like what Phillip Rivers would do, right? Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback, but down late in the game, this motherfucker just heaves it down the field, right, and throws a pick. Tyrod Taylor will just dump it off 7 times to some random ass motherfucker who's standing 6 feet away from him. He just doesn't take those leap throws that Hunter Henry may need to do good up against the Chiefs, but I do think Hunter Henry plays quite a good game considering he's like the number 2 or number 3 look on the team for Ty God Taylor. At number 8, we have Dallas Goedert going up against the LA Rams. Now, if you guys remember in the offseason, Dallas Goedert got straight up sucker punched and got KO'd by some random guy in a bar. Now, I expect Dallas Goedert to be in that sucker punch up against the LA Rams. Last week, up against the Washington football team, dropped a fat 100 yards straight on that ass, and he could do the same thing up against the Rams. Again, these wide receivers on the Philadelphia Eagles just are not good at all, and Carson Wentz has the tendency to look for the biggest person on the team, and that just so happens to be Zach Ertz as well as Dallas Goedert, both tight ends for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I like Goedert in this game, not as much as Zach Ertz, obviously, though, because Zach Ertz is clearly the number 1 tight end on the team. At number 9, we have Hayden Hurst going up against the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry's World. Now, I do expect a bounce bike game for Hayden Hurst. We saw him make a nice catch in that game up against the Seattle Seahawks, but could not top 10 points in that game. Up against the Dallas Cowboys, I see a similar situation happening where they're down in the game and they have to keep throwing the goddamn ball. And I just expect Hayden Hurst to have a much better week 2 of the NFL season. I think Hayden Hurst does have that potential. I said it before the season, top 5 tight end due to the amount of times the Atlanta Falcons throw the ball. They threw the ball a million times last game. Hurst just wasn't as involved in that game. So I think when you're throwing the ball 50 plus times every single game, Hayden Hurst is bound to catch the ball like 5 times in this game up against the Dallas Cowboys, who don't have the greatest of defenses. At number 10, we have Easy Evan Ingram going up against the Chicago Bears. So again, we have a tough matchup for Evan Ingram, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a top 12 stamp at the tight end position again. Last week, completely shit the bed up against the Steelers, just did nothing. Legitimately nothing. He was awful. He was open, drops a touchdown. Just not a great showing from Evan Ingram, but here I expect a bounce-back game, even up against another tough defense in the Chicago Bears at Chicago. At number 11, we have Jonnu Smith going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jonnu Smith had quite the good game week 1 up against the Denver Broncos. Ended up finding the green, that end zone for Jonnu Smith. Now, I joked earlier in the game that Pruitt is a weird way to spell Jonnu Smith because some random-ass tight end, Pruitt, ended up scoring a touchdown, but later in the game, Jonnu also ended up scoring. Going up against the young Jacksonville Jaguars defense, I just feel like Jonnu Smith will be a little too strong in this game for the Jaguars defense. Got him with a top 12 designation in this game. Tight end, number 11. And to close out the top 12, we are obviously going to be talking about the top 20 in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit that fucking subscribe button, and make sure you got some nice popcorn to continue going on in the video. Noah Fant going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So again here, we have a tough matchup. Evan Ingram did not do all that well against them last week, but I think we saw Noah Fant really tear it up last week on the Denver Broncos. Now, it is unclear if Courtland Sutton is going to play or not. I feel like actually he's not going to play. So if you have Noah Fant, make sure you keep that in mind. If Sutton does not play, I like Noah Fant far more than if Courtland Sutton does end up playing. So I got Fant at 12. Definitely has top 12 potential if Sutton isn't in. But if Sutton is in the game and seems like he's going to be healthy, I would be very wary on Noah Fant in this game because I really want to see how he does with Judy, with Sutton on the field at the same time. How involved is he truly there when there's 2 wide receivers who can command a shit ton of targets in that Denver offense? Now onto tight end 13 all the way through number 20. At 13, we have TJ Hockengold going up against the Green Bay Packers. Again, this week we are missing Kenny Golladay for the Detroit Lions, so we could see TJ Hockenson play quite well again up against the Green Bay Packers. Maybe Matt Stafford will learn, hey, when you're about to win the game, maybe don't throw it to DeAndre fucking Swift because the guy's butterfingers. Throw it to the big man, TJ Hockenson, in the red zone up against the Green Bay Packers. They're going to have to be passing a lot in this game because the Packers are going to be passing a lot, and they're going to be scoring a shit ton of points, so they're going to have to be coming from behind, hitting it from the back, and Matt Stafford is going to be quite good at it in this game. And I think that TJ Hockenson plays quite well, tight end number 13. At number 14, we have Mike Gesicki going up against the Buffalo Bills. Now, Mike Gesicki's tight end finish on the week completely depends on one thing. Does Devontae Parker end up playing? If Devontae Parker ends up missing this game, I believe Mike Gesicki is going to be eating like his name was Ezekiel Elliott. If not, I'm not sure how involved he is. Now, it seems like in the red zone, Fitz Magic, old man Fitzy, loves Mike Gesicki in the end zone. He forced a ball his way at the end of the Patriots game to end up losing the Dolphins the game because if he threw a touchdown, maybe the Dolphins could have won, but he threw what we would describe as the INT, the interception. But he was looking for Mike Gesicki a lot in this game, and I don't expect that to stop in this game, even if Parker's healthy. But with Parker healthy, I just don't really see top 12 potential this week up against a tougher Buffalo Bills defense. At number 15, we have Rob Gronkowski going up against the Carolina Panthers in Tampa Bay. Now, Gronk had a miserable start to the season. Miserable start. Scores 2 points. I wasn't all aboard the Gronk train. Now, this is a great matchup for him, but I just don't know how involved Gronk is going to be in this offense. You would think when you're in the red zone, Tom Brady just feeds you the ball, but how much are they going to be throwing in this game? Are they going to run a million times with Rojo? Are they going to run a million times with Uncle Lenny? Are they going to give it to some random-ass motherfucker who's behind him? I have no idea. So I got Gronk here, tight end 15. Definitely his top 5 upside up against a not-so-hot Carolina defense, but we shall see how it goes before I feel super confident starting Rob Gronkowski. At number 16, we have Chris Herndon going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is a not-so-bad matchup because the San Francisco 49ers defense is kind of beat up. Now, this is kind of a good matchup because the Jets just don't have that many wide receivers that are healthy with Jamison Crowder missing the game. I feel like Chris Herndon could be very involved in this offense. It's just about how long can the Jets stay on the fucking field. Will they go 3 and out 7,000 times? Maybe. So I think Chris Herndon could have a good game, but obviously he's on such a shit team in the Jets that is obviously very worrisome, considering Adam Gase is more worried about doing some booger sugar in the bathroom after the game than winning the football team for the Jumbo Jets. At number 17, we have Logan Thomas going up against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Now, we saw Washington football team tight end Logan Thomas score a touchdown last week up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Arizona Cardinals last year had the worst defense up against the tight end position. For some reason, they just have no idea how to cover the big man on the team. The best way to describe this is that you are the Arizona Cardinals defense, and Logan Thomas is Shaquille fucking O'Neal trying to dunk. You're not going to be able to stop Shaquille fucking O'Neal, just like the Arizona Cardinals likely won't be able to stop any tight end or Mr. Logan Thomas. At number 18, we have Mr. Double E, Eric Ebron, going up against the Denver Broncos. We did not see Ebron all that involved last week up against the New York Football Giants in a soft matchup. So how involved do we see him up against Denver? Sure, he's a good start because he could score a touchdown and put you into the game, but not a guy that I would love to be starting on a weekly basis, even against a tough Denver defense. At number 19, we have Drop My Drawers and Let Us See My Third Leg, Greg Olsen, going up against the New England Deflatriots. The 7th floor crew is going to be banging in the stadium. Greg Olsen ended up scoring last week. I do not expect him to score this week up against the New England Patriots, so he is not really that hot of a commodity on the week. Tight end 19. And tight end number 20, another old bastard who ended up scoring a touchdown, Jimmy Graham, going up against the New York Football Giants, now acquired by the Chicago Bears. Most people probably had no idea he was on the Bears until he ended up scoring a touchdown last week. The Giants are a soft matchup for Jimmy Graham, but I'm just not sure how much I want to buy into some old bastard scoring a touchdown again. So I'm going to go ahead and put Jimmy G as number 20 due to the upside of him playing up against the New York Football Giants. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you ended up gaining any information, you ended up having a great time, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your guys' day. Also, check out overlaydfs.com. Link down below in the description. Make sure you guys always, like I said, have a great rest of your guys' day because I love each and every single one of you guys. We're almost at 8,000 subscribers. It legitimately means the world to me, all the support that I see. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get to every single comment because I just get so many now, but I do appreciate when you guys leave comments. I try to answer as many questions as I can see. So I'm sorry if I miss your comment. I'm not trying to ignore any of you guys. I do love you all, and I do hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' day. As always, I love you guys, and I'll see you motherfuckers tomorrow. Or actually, no, I'll see you guys later with another video. I love you all. Goodbye!